Join me as I dive deep into this love story and figure out if it's really worth all the hype. Love stories have been a staple in media for as long as anyone can remember, from romantic comedies to tragic epics. But today, I want to talk about one love story in particular that's been making waves, the one between two beloved characters from a popular book series. The question is, does their love story live up to the hype? One of the biggest criticisms of this love story is that it's insta-love. People say that the two characters fall in love way too quickly, without any real development or foundation. Others argue that their relationship is unhealthy, with one partner being overly controlling and possessive. Some even go as far as to say that it's not a love story at all, but rather a story of obsession. And then there are those who claim that the author only included the romance to appease fans and boost book sales. All of these criticisms are definitely valid, and it's hard to deny that they have some merit. After all, the romance does move at a breakneck pace, and some of the things that happen in the story are definitely problematic. But is it fair to say that the love story is completely worthless just because of these flaws? I'm not so sure. In order to really understand this love story, we need to look at the characters and their development over time. For example, one of the characters starts off as a pretty typical, bad boy, trope, but as the story progresses, we see a more vulnerable side of him. We see him struggle with his own demons and work to overcome them. And through all of this, his relationship with the other character is a constant source of support and comfort. One of the key themes of this love story is the idea that love can conquer all, even in the darkest of times. And while that might sound like a pretty cheesy message, it's one that resonates deeply with a lot of readers. The story also explores the idea of sacrifice and what it means to truly love someone. These are all complex, mature themes that add depth and nuance to the romance. Of course, audience reception is also a big factor in determining whether or not this love story is worth the hype. And from what I've seen, most readers are completely invested in the relationship between these two characters. They love watching them overcome obstacles and seeing their love grow stronger with each challenge. But despite all of these positive elements, there's still one moment in the story that has been widely criticized. The moment when one character does something really hurtful to the other, and then just kind of gets away with it. This moment is problematic for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is that it reinforces some really harmful stereotypes about abuse and relationships. For a lot of readers, this moment is a major turning point in the story. It's the moment when they start to question whether the love story is really worth all the hype. And I can see why. It's definitely a cringe-worthy moment, and it's hard to defend. However, I think it's also important to consider the context of the story and the characters' motivations. This moment isn't just thrown in for drama or shock value, it's a deliberate choice made by the author to explore some really complex themes and ideas. And while it might not be executed perfectly, I think it's worth acknowledging the effort that went into it. So, is this love story worth the hype? In my opinion, yes, but with some major caveats. While it's not a perfect story, and there are definitely some problematic elements, it's also a story that has resonated deeply with a lot of readers. And at the end of the day, that's what makes a love story truly great. What do you guys think, though? Do you think this love story is worth the hype, or do you have some major reservations? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any other love stories you'd like me to analyze in future videos, be sure to suggest them. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can find the book on Amazon.